So if you haven't figured that out yet, this is a Smith and Wesson 1854 lever gun in traditional walnut. Now, there's a lot of video out there on the other version of this gun, which is the one in synthetic stocks. This again is traditional walnut. Wasn't going to buy this rifle, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I really like it. About the only thing I'm missing from the other version of this rifle is the M-locks in the handguards. So not a big deal for me. I have no intention of using any M-lock attachments. Some of you might be interested in doing that, so I can see you wanting the other version, but I love this traditional walnut. Have a look at that. What a great looking gun, right? Again, Smith and Wesson in traditional walnut. And I'll tell you why I ended up with this rifle. So if you've watched my channel, you know that I love my lever actions. I've got a couple of them here. This is my Winchester, one of my favorites. Not going to be talking about this one. We're going to be talking about the Smith and Wesson 1854 and why I bought this particular rifle. So anyway, if you watch my channel, you know that I love my levers, and I've owned and fired 357, 44 Magnum, 30-30, 45-70. I've had a whole array of lever guns, and I was in the market for another one. I really, after shooting all those different rounds and all that, I found that I was always going to the gun closet, going out to shoot, and I was always grabbing the same rifles, right? I started gravitating toward a few favorites, and they by far have been the 44 Magnum, which this is a 44 Magnum. So I went out looking for 44 Magnum. The reason I like them is because it's just an all-around great round. You know, it's punchy, powerful, fun to shoot. These tend to have a lot more capacity than, say, a 30-30 or 45-70. This is 9+1. A lot of the levers that you buy in the higher calibers, the 30-30s or the 45-70s, you're going to have maybe 5 or 6+1. So it gives you more capacity. And it's just a great all-around caliber of round. I mean, there's just so much versatility with that between hunting and just target shooting or whatever. It's just a great round. So I like my 44s. These are both 44s. I was in the market for a 44, and I'm going to explain why I landed on the Smith and Wesson. So the other one I was looking at, the other 44 I was looking at in the lever, was the Henry Big Boy, right? And it was, I was looking at the carbine, which is 7+1, and I was also looking at the regular rifle, Henry Big Boy, that was 10+1, right? So this is 9+1, but that's not the whole reason why I went with the Smith and Wesson. It was a really hard decision, but I was looking at this closely and comparing the two, and there was a few things that I liked in this one. Now, when I first saw it, I was looking at the wood, and I was comparing, just the look and feel of it to the, to the Henry. And one thing I noticed right away about this was, the finish kind of grew on me. At first, I didn't like it as much, but it just kind of grew on me, the way that the wood's finished. Also, when I picked up the, I had them side by side, right? I picked up the Henry, and I could wobble the handguards, on the Henry around, and this thing is just like rock solid. I was like, wow, okay, well that, maybe it just needed to be tightened up or whatever, but it just sort of, I kind of felt that. This felt like it was just better made, And I'm not saying this is better made than the Henry, because I love Henrys, I own Henrys, and I would buy another Henry for sure. But there was something about the quality of this that just kind of stood out. Between the carbine at 7-round capacity and the normal rifle at 10, this had 9-round capacity. One of the things I really liked about this rifle, though, was the reach, right? The trigger reach was way back here, where I could really tuck it in and feel it tight in and grip it well. So I really like that close in reach on this. So that was another big selling point, right? The other thing I really liked about this when I started looking at the two and comparing the two is I love these sights, right? These are XS sights, and I'm going to talk about these in more detail a little bit later on in this video, why I like these sights so much. And I like them over what came standard on the Henry, right? Again, not saying the Henry is bad or anything, just my preference for sights. These XS sights are really, really good. The other thing I liked about it was I had a pick rail on here. I could put a pick rail on the Henry, but this had pick rail on it. That just gave me some options, some flexibility in case I wanted to do something. I like shooting iron sights, so I'm not big on optics, but it gave me the option if I wanted to put an optic, I could, and I think I'm going to, right? So in a future video, I'm gonna mount up an optic on here and you know, just show you how it mounts and how it looks and feels and all that sort of thing. It had a threaded barrel, and again, you know, I'm not planning on doing anything with the threaded barrel, but I happen to have a muzzle device in my gun closet that's just been sitting there. It's brand new. I've never put it on a gun. I don't even know why I have it, to be honest with you, but it happens to match the threads on this barrel. So I thought, well, I have the muzzle device. I'm going to put it on there. If I don't like it, I can take it off, whatever, right? So, you know, I had that extra flexibility with those options. I also really like the lever on this. It's super comfortable compared to, again, to the Henry that I was looking at. So I did like that feature. And, you know, I like these manual safeties. The Henry is, you know, it doesn't have a visible manual safety, which is probably not a big deal for a lot of people, but for me, I just like the added safety and visibility of that manual safety. So that was another piece. It's got a nice, you know, rubber pad on the back, which, again, so did the Henry. The Henry, I could have upgraded the sights and put some nice Skinner sights on there, but you know, that's just something else I have to buy and put on. This came with everything set up the way it, you know, the way it is here. The biggest factor that I was hesitant though about was there was about a $300 or $400 price difference between this and the Henry. So this is quite a bit more expensive than the Henry. So that almost killed the deal for me. But I was trading another rifle in, and I got way more money than I thought I was going to get for it. So I was like, wow, okay, that's a game changer, right? So I had a little bit more buying power with that trade-in. So I went ahead and got this, yeah, I'm really happy with it. Now I haven't shot it yet. I'm going to take it out and shoot it, but I just kind of want to give you guys, you know, a quick look to get a feel for it. And so, like I said, I want to talk about the sights on this because I think that's a pretty important conversation. Okay, let's talk about the sights. These come standard with XS sights. These are peep sights, as you know, it's pretty obvious, right? And I really like these sights. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the options. Here's an option, for example, with the XS sights that I purchased recently. This is a $13 aperture, and this is a long stem aperture, which, again, we're going to talk about this. I really like these sights for a few reasons. One, they're really easy to adjust. You just take a simple screwdriver and you can loosen the screws on either side to get your windage correct, and then you simply loosen a screw and spin the aperture up and down to get your elevation, right? The front sight post is a really nice sort of brass bead sight, which is super visible and easy to see. I like that feature. The other good thing about it is if you do put a scope on here, you can just unscrew this all together or take this whole piece off. I'm going to run some low scope rings on here when I mount a scope, so I'm going to take that off, which is nice. It's handy. And again, going back to these apertures, so you can buy long stem or normal stem. There's a normal stem rear aperture that comes with it. This longer stem gives you a little more flexibility in terms of, you know, getting a little bit more elevation on that rear sight, which gives you a little bit more distance. I'm also probably going to get a couple of smaller aperture rings, just because, you know, it's a little bit more precise in terms of your sight picture at longer ranges. So this was $13, like I said, free shipping. And and it came in like 2 or 3 days. So I'm going to order some more of these for sure. But again, that's the benefit of these XS sights. The Skinners are really nice too. These are not Skinner sights, but you know, the Skinner sights do give you some options like that as well. But the XS sights, Great sight. The sight picture through these are really amazing. So I really like that feature. So anyway, that's kind of the sights in a nutshell. And again, we're gonna see what they're all about when we get out and shoot. So another feature, this actually comes with it, this little hammer extension right here. So if you do mount a scope, and the scope comes over the top, you know, to get your thumb on there, you can just, you know, pull the hammer back. So that's kind of a nice little touch. Again, that comes with the rifle. A good owner's manual comes with the rifle as well. And so yeah, it's you know, it's a pretty complete setup. And yeah, I'm super happy with this investment. I think it's going to be really good. I've got some dummy rounds here. These are inert dummy rounds, 44 mag. I'm going to go ahead and load these up and just kind of make sure it cycles really good and loads really good, and kind of get a feel for it. So let's do that now, and then we'll wrap this up. All right, loading and unloading. Like I said, I have some dummy rounds. These are inert dummy rounds, and see how this thing loads up. Pretty easy, no issues. This is a brand new gun, and 6 rounds. Again, it'll hold 9 + 1. There you go. Let's cycle some through here. Perfect, no issues at all. Cycles really good, loads really easy. Super happy with that. Okay guys, I know that was a quick down and dirty on this Smith and Wesson 1854 traditional walnut, but I kind of wanted to get it out there and show you guys what it's all about. Again, I think it's a good option for me, and I'm glad I bought it, and I'm assuming that when I get it out to shoot it, it's going to be awesome. So I'll take you out and we'll go do some shooting. But before we do that, I'm going to do one more video of this gun with the scope installed and my muzzle device, which is a muzzle brake. All right, so I'm going to get that all done, get it all set up, do another quick video just to show you what that was all about, and kind of talk about if I had any issues installing any of that gear, and have another look at it. But then we're going to get out and do a lot of shooting. I got a lot of ammo for this thing, and I intend to put a lot of time on it. So hope you guys like that intro to the Smith and Wesson 1854 in traditional walnut. There it is. I'm really impressed so far. Hope you guys like that video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll try to answer them for you.